Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julia Canon.
And I'm Jen Moreno.
And you're on the air with Powers Squared. This week we're talking about the upcoming issue number 24.
Gashadokuro.
Thank you. Which Trevor wrote.
Yes.
And which Julia drew and Julia and Jen colored.
I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot I drew that.
Okay. Well, thanks. It sounds like you're going to be a great guest. So let's start with Trevor. It was your idea.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, the idea for it came to me while I was taking figure drawing class, because in the figure drawing class they have like a model skeleton that they refer to for like basic human anatomy, and I had the thought, like, wouldn't it be weird if that skeleton like came alive? Then I remembered I had also remembered that there's a yokai called a Gashadokuro that's a giant skeleton. So then I thought to combine the two.
Okay. All right. And that was then you also wrote something. This is Eli alone.
Yes.
Fighting
that.
Yes, that and then you wrote something that was Marty alone.
Yes.
Which would be the next issue, which we'll talk to about in a few months. But
yeah.
So the idea is they're kind of the boys on their own stories, which we've never have done yet.
We were. That was influenced from JoJo, because there's a fight in. There's two fights in part 3 that take place at the same time, but it's different members of the Crusaders.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we wanted to try something like that.
Okay. And this was even though she doesn't remember it, this was the first issue that Julia drew for us. And we had a longtime artist, Rachel Wells, who decided to try her hand at other things. And Julia had been our colorist for a long time and had shown, I still remember we were doing the signing at Golden Apple. You drew that thing of mocha on your...
Yeah.
And I was very impressed by that. So we gave her a chance to be the artist. Do you want to tell us about that experience for you? Since you don't remember it?
Like real talk. I've had like in hindsight, this is like the first, like, I guess, full-fledged like issue I've done before. Like I've done like comic stuff before in the past, both funsies and like a little bit of commission before. But I think this is like the very first time I've had like a good, like, I guess, direction, if that makes any sense. So it was like a nice experience, like just like looking through like your guys' scripts and just like trying to, I guess, extrapolate from that and just like working with, like trying to bring that into the vision you guys want.
I remember when I wrote a script, I was also thinking about it visually. So for this one, I also drew thumbnails to give an idea of what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was also a good guidance too. I will say though, the one thing, like after like turning in everything, when I was looking over the script again, I think it was this issue. I was rereading it. I'm like, oh crud, you put like an Undertale reference in here. I lost the opportunity. Because I was like so concentrated on like what you sent me, and then just trying to extrapolate from the script. Like, wait a second, I forgot there was Undertale in here.
So we were trying for a while to have Julia do both the art and the coloring, and that didn't quite work out too well for you. I mean, it was a lot to do.
Yeah, because like at the time, like before I like switched jobs, I was like in the middle of also like a full-time position at work, and it was just like very, I guess the word is like overwhelming on top of like balancing work and then also like working with you guys with freelance, and then just trying to get everything around with personal stuff too. So I'm just like, I need to get one thing off my plate before I cannot not do this.
Okay. So that was coloring, and we had a little contest to find a colorist,
Yes.
and Jen won that contest.
Hey.
Hey, so the newest member of I like to think of us as the Powers Squared family, but anyway, so you came on board, and how was your experience on working on it?
It was interesting because usually, well, not usually, I drew comics of my own a very long time ago. But it was all in black and white, so anything with color is like not out of my range, but also it's a lot more complex than I thought than just like throwing colors in black, white, shading, lighting, and that's it. It's like I had to go through more videos about how it is doing comic work in that stage of, you know, doing all that. But it was fun. It was fun trying to figure all that out.
Cool. And then Trevor got to letter it.
Yes.
So
I'm
how was
sorry.
that? Was that letter your own stuff, or
What?
I mean, you're obviously familiar with the script. Was it you haven't had the experience, as far as I know, of lettering? Well, except for your own book,
Right.
lettering on Power Squared, lettering something you've written. So was that a different experience for you?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I admit, there were a few, when I was looking back through the finished pages, I noticed a few, like, small, art errors that I overlooked when it was, like, before it went to color. So I used, some strategic, lettering placement to try to...
I am so sorry.
It was a learning experience for me too, because I hadn't coordinated a book like that
Yeah,
before.
no. So I made a point of making sure that he was happy with the artwork before we went to the next step. Since it was his story. So
I think that was like the one thing I was concerned of too. So like I have like two modes. It's either like if you don't say anything, I think it's either just like you're not saying anything, or if no one's saying anything, I kind of take like when I used to take karate, if our instructor didn't say anything, that means you're doing fine.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, so which one is it? But but like aside from that, like it was so like I figured like okay, like no news is good news. The pages are to their liking. But then I've also like when I was re-looking at them, like I wonder if like the bubbles will be okay where they are, which is why like every podcast, whenever Trevor would talk about the lettering, and that's why I would go like, I'm so sorry.
So
It will happen again.
okay.
As observant as I think I am, I still overlook certain things sometimes.
I mean, in hindsight, like I feel like there's always that moment once you step back and like put it in the drawer for like a couple of months and look back at it. That's when you start seeing other things.
Yeah.
Like I remember this one. Like, this is like very like when Rachel was still here. I think I remember there was one time when the first issue I worked on, I believe it was like 13. I think I
Yeah,
remember I was 13 where I remember like I think it was like a year later, you guys realized that like Marty's hand was like the other way around. And I'm like, you know what? It happens. It's fine.
Yeah, I remember there was one issue.
I thought that was funny.
I don't know if it was you had colored it or the girl before had colored it.
It was me. Yeah, I colored it like it was the imposter. I
well,
believe.
This was I think it might have been I thought it was the issue before that, but the figure that I thought was in the shadow was not the right figure or something, so we had to have that little thing changed.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, it happens. You kind of, I notice, I'm pretty sure I'm not alone, but you notice something when it's drawn and when it goes to inks, and then it goes to colors. It's like, oh wait, something else is different. Yeah, it's just it kind of opens it up as you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think another one too is like I think this was on me where I forgot about like the placement of wires and like
Oh,
during
so,
that issue where it's like, oh hey, like it was months later. You're like, hey, can you like fix this? We oversaw this. I'm like, okay, sure. So it was like basically saying like, oh, it was saying that he cut like the same colored wire. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough.
oh
And then
yeah,
just
that
destroyed
was
it.
yeah, right, right.
Hmm.
They were all yeah. There were certain yeah, right.
Yeah, so like I feel it's one of those things where it's like it also just kind of proves like you're only human, and like sometimes taking a step back and then re-looking at it again will like refresh that mind. Like,
Or I think in that
mm.
case it was seeing this the script with with the artwork was like, oh wait a
I
minute, yeah.
I think that was around the time. Well, I think that was around the time I also wasn't like getting the script. Sometimes it was like never in the Dropbox, and part of me was just too scared to ask for the script for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
Uh, some reason thinking of something I read about with Hikaru no Go. Uh, like so, because it revolves around the game of Go. The placement of the stones is important. And if there are any errors with the stone placements, are like caught at different stages of, caught at different stages of production of a chapter. But sometimes an error wasn't caught until it was like going to the printer.
yeah.
I think they had to fix that
Well.
for the volume. Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sometimes manga artwork does get fixed for the volume release.
Well, sometimes you're sometimes it's just happy that hey, it's colored and move on, and it's like, oh wait a minute, those colors actually mean something. In the case of the wiring, I think that was part of it.
Lesson learned: always ask for the script. Don't be scared to ask.
And I try to put the script in the Dropbox going forward, so
Yeah,
there should be no excuse.
I think it was just because like with me, I'm always like this is like a very like bad thing. It's like I'm always used to like if I don't get like something, maybe there's a reason why like what like XYZ like why I shouldn't. So I don't ask too many questions, and then I have to learn. I should probably start asking more questions.
Yeah, and I try to end every missive or whatever with if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. So if you have a question, you can always ask.
Yeah. What's 2 + 2? No, I'm kidding.
5? No. All right.
Wrong. It's fish. No.
2 + 2, that's easy. 22.
Yeah.
By George, he's right now.
So back to this. This will be out on March 26th. It'll be available in print and digital through the campus store on our website, powersquaredcomicbook.com.
That's right.
And there'll be links as they go up of where you can buy it. And we'll also be having this at WonderCon starting the 28th through the 30th. But
Yes.
a few copies of every issue available.
Let's go.
So you're
Great. If you're looking for a silent fidget toy, you use our affiliate code Marty and Eli to save 10% off your purchase at getono.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more.
Okay.
And
until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins. I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julia Canon.
And Jen Moreno.
And you've been on the air with Powers Squared. Bye.
Bye.